Hello everyone, it's Steven here from the Kaijusaurus Podcast. What you're about to listen to is the complete unedited raw audio, or rawdio if you like, of Ross, Laura and I's live discussion of 1998's Godzilla, which we broadcast live through our Facebook page last Friday night. That was the evening of the 25th of August 2017. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in, and you'll hear the complete unedited audio after the roar.
Bit nervous, lads. It's like our very first show.
Isn't it just? Okay, Godzilla
I do this all the
broadcast.
Time. Let's do it.
Going live in 3, 2, 1.
We're live!
We are live. Stephen, Laura and Ross are all here.
The credits are rolling.
The credits are rolling.
We should probably give everyone a little minute to...
The credits are Roland Emery.
Yeah, Roland
Emery.
Roland on hold. Sorry guys, we're a little rusty. We're just turning down the volume a wee bit. The credits are literally running now. We figure we should take a couple minutes and just let everyone realise that we're on.
Yeah, of course, definitely.
We'll fire out the social media.
We'll just sit here and chat. How was your day at work?
It was good. It was really good, Laura. How was your day at work?
It was alright. I was there. How about you?
There's a guy that did the production accountancy for this film called Think 10 Ike and Collie Finn.
I found a really good one. There was someone called Richard E. Gant.
Richard E. Gant.
He's my favourite. I want him to be in it now.
The famous Gant family of filmmakers.
Yep.
Oh, we've got our first listener.
Oh, props to you. Welcome.
Abby! Yes!
Oh, it's 2 listeners. Raph and Abby are both in. Hello, Raph and Abby. Hope you're both well.
What are you doing?
Goodness me.
Oh, look at these little angry emotions. Oh, man, the emojis are coming in.
The emojis are flying in.
Well, we should just have done the emoji movie
Goodness
as a film.
The emoji movie.
Hello, dear listeners. We're just doing a little bit of an audio test before we get up and coming. Can you just give us a confirmation you can hear us all loud and clear?
Yeah, just feel free to throw some comments. Should we... Abby says, it me!
Yes!
Should we be louder, quieter? How are all our individual... Let's do individual voice tests, because Ross, you get very loud. Okay, I'm Stephen. This is the level I'll be speaking at. How do I sound? Laura, do you want to take it?
No, I'm a bit too nervous.
Okay, Ross, you go then.
My name's Roz Menzies, and I'm here to say I saw 1998's Godzilla in a major way.
I'm Laura, and I'm here. I have no fun banter. That's it.
You got nothing to contribute?
No, nothing. I'm gonna leave.
Right.
Deep voice.
Oh, this is excellent. Everyone's here. Oh yeah, we've got Raph, we've got Chantel, we've got Owen, we've got William, we've got Megan. That's a lot.
Right,
time for
Stephen,
the audience
Stephen,
voices.
you've got to make a decision now. Are you going to individually shout out every listener? Yes or no?
I appreciate everyone.
I only appreciate you as a singular mass.
And I'm just here.
Well, this is good news. We'll give everyone we'll give a couple minutes. We'll fire out some shares, some
Ethan says coming through loud and clear from everyone.
This is
Yay!
good news.
Thank you, Ethan.
So everyone, if you
You're
could just
a cool
fire
guy,
off,
Ethan.
obviously we're all here on Facebook. If you could all just
Oh.
share the post, make sure everyone that said they were going to watch it is watching it, eh?
Yeah, like don't make a liar out of anyone.
Exactly.
We don't want that, obviously.
How are we all tonight? I'm very good.
We're
I
good.
don't know
Yeah,
how
we're
about you.
good.
We're actually all a little bit tired though.
I think we'll officially start things at 5 minutes past. I think that's when we'll officially...
Ross,
Yeah, why
if
not?
you
Kick the thing
say that
off.
one more time, you're locked out your own house.
Ross, this is actually a live intervention. you're getting kicked off the podcast.
For what crimes?
And Laura, you're not
Against
Laura,
humanity.
you're not joining the podcast. I'm going to do dual roles.
Are you going to be... Right, Stephen, do both of us on the podcast now. Go.
Well, hello. I am Roz Menzies. We're here to do the Kaijusaurus Podcast. And I'm just going to hand you over to Stephen. Well, hello, I'm Stephen.
do me.
No, I'm too nervous to do you.
Gimp.
Right.
Right.
It's 4 minutes past, so we can't start now.
No, we can't.
Let's
We
all
can't
sit in
start now. Who's sending shock? So people have sent a shocked emoji, a flower emoji, an angry emoji.
I'm sorry.
Only flower emojis tonight. If you don't have a flower emoji, then fuck off.
Someone sent a crying emoji. It's like,
that was me.
Don't
I'm sorry,
cry.
guys.
Cry.
sorry, whoever that was.
I'm
Where
sorry.
are you? So,
Yeah.
let's start. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Kaijusaurus livecast.
This is the Kaijusaurus Podcast live.
Where are we?
We are at Costa del Menzies.
Costa del Menzies in Falkirk, Scotland. My parents' house. They're not here, they're in Greece.
Empty.
I've got an empty.
Ross has got an empty. That's why we're making the most of it. Ross is empty. We're doing a live podcast episode. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
My parents are expecting me to be up to some mad shit, but no, I'm sitting with some nerds watching a Godzilla film.
Abraham Mabry Moller Jacob says he loves the podcast, guys.
Good.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Abe. We
Appreciate it.
We love you for loving it.
Yeah.
This is the Kaijusaurus Podcast live. This is the podcast in which a lifelong fan of Godzilla and Kaiju movies watches and reviews every film in the Godzilla series with my good friend and, at the time of the podcast's inception, newbie, Roz Menzies.
Hello everyone.
And also here with us is Gavin's here.
Yeah.
Not here in the room, but
Gavin's not in the room, but Gavin, one of our good old friends, Gavin, just joined. And joining us tonight is my fiancée.
oh yes, that's right.
Introduce yourself, Laura.
Too shy now. I'm Laura. You heard me on the Ultraman podcast, and before that it was the Mothra one, which is not that great. So don't listen to that one. But the Ultraman one's funny because I talk about a farting cat that cries all the time.
You were also
Not joking, Ross.
You're
should.
also Godzilla vs Megalon episode, and
Being my favorite film.
You made a guest appearance on the All Monsters Attack episode.
A cameo.
Oh yeah, I came in at the end.
Yeah,
didn't
you came in
'Cause
at the
I was
end.
free that night.
Gavin says, "Oh God, I give this podcast a solid 7 out of 10." Right, book Gavin.
Well, Gavin, you know where to go.
Book Gavin.
You know where to go.
Yeah,
The audience can't know that they can get a rise out of us. We need to be above them.
I already know I am.
That's true. So we're live, and this is something that's really, really exciting. We're glad you're all here joining us. We just want to say a quick thank you for joining on, because this is new, untested waters for us. So we really hope tonight goes well. We really want your feedback. We want your comments, your thoughts, your reactions, your questions as we go along. We'll do our best to kind of interact with you guys as best as we can while we talk about the film. So, Steven, what did we watch?
we watched everyone's favourite movie, and especially the absolute favourite movie of Godzilla fans. This is fucking bullshit. Someone just said, Raphael just said I suck.
Steven.
With an S-U.
just-
I'm walking off.
Steven, just accept it.
Ross and Laura, take over.
You do suck.
We're
We're getting abused.
Ross is a loss.
We're truly getting...
Guys, only put compliments about me. I'm not okay to deal with negativity.
Laura's cool.
Well,
Oh, thanks, Ross.
Yeah.
That means a lot.
we watched Godzilla 1998. What's the opposite of a fan favourite? A fan...
Unfavourite.
yeah, there we go.
Fan
A fan...
Hatred.
victim.
A fan failure?
A fan failure.
Fan failure.
Fail!
1998's Godzilla. We watched it in my living room. We watched it on a crisp, stunning Blu-ray. One could say too crisp. One could say the movie looked too good.
I actually did say it was too crisp several times.
Because Ross's mum and dad's TV. That's this.
Yeah!
It's like
I
48
am too.
inches.
That's like 48 inches. And it has this weird thing that a lot of these modern TVs have where it has this weird filter where it tries to increase whatever you're watching's frame rate. And so it results in everything looking like it was shot on video, or as you put it, Ross, it's like it makes everything like an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah, no, it does.
So, like at certain points in Godzilla,
I might.
At certain points in Godzilla 98, it just looked like things were going like super fast.
Yeah.
And then, like the scene where the three boats are getting dragged along, or you just like burst out laughing at that because they're just getting dragged along really, really quickly.
Yeah, it's such a
It
speedy
was.
frame rate.
See, if you put Benny Hill music, it would be really funny.
Well, see, it's either looks like Curb Your Enthusiasm or it looks like British soaps, like
Well, I was gonna say, like
Corrie or
EastEnders,
EastEnders,
yeah.
because they film at like the most cutting edge high def for something that does not deserve to be filmed at that quality.
Laura, Chantel Wills says,
I know.
love you, Laura, marry me instead.
I actually said I might to that, but no
You
one else
might.
picked up. Yeah, well,
Right.
you bully me.
This
So.
is
Yeah, it's
live
fair.
on air.
On
That
there.
is truly cruel. So, before anything else, I just want to talk about the opening for the Blu-ray, not the film itself. The opening for
Yeah,
the Blu-ray.
I kinda wanted to talk about this
you know,
too.
the Blu-ray is currently just on, spinning through its sort of menu sequence while we're doing this as a screensaver almost, and it's a really, really bad CGI street. And it's just panning down it with really terrible CGI rain and really bad cars. The TVs in the store have clips from the film, and the camera's shaking with Godzilla's movements, and it's just such bad CGI. It's like an early Pixar short
thank you.
film.
Oh, yes,
I
it's
think
it's like
no,
Luxo Jr.
no. Do you know
Yeah.
why? Do you know why I think it
Or the
looks
one
like?
with the clapping toy that hangs
Oh
at the
no,
end.
that one's creepy.
Tin
That
toy,
one's
yeah.
so creepy. I think it looks like Simpsons Hit and Run,
Yeah, it does.
like the
actually.
Halloween, the one in the Halloween level.
Yeah, but Simpsons comparing something to Simpsons Hit and Run is that can only be a compliment.
Yeah, it's true.
That's true. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's a
am,
brilliant game.
I am just constantly in a state of waiting for an HD remaster of Simpsons Hit
Oh,
and
that'll
Run.
be juicy.
Like, yeah, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy was good, but like what we want
Steven,
is Simpsons Hit and
You
Run.
loved it.
I d-
Pardon
Get
me.
it.
That's the first burp. Air horns.
First burp of the
Air
night.
horns.
We wanted to have sound effects, but that'll have to be next time. So, should we dive in?
You were 10 minutes in already. Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
We've been
You guys
getting really
try to
excited. We've
sell
got
it
17
stuff
people
over.
listening to us live.
Yeah.
I might say a swear,
Queens.
and we can't do anything about it.
Ross, don't do a swear.
I won't do a swear. I'm trying my
We're
best.
werewolves,
to,
not
Should we get it out of our
swearwolves.
system?
Werewolves, not swearwolves.
What did I
Right,
say?
everyone. If you're listening in public, just be ready. We're gonna say some swears just right away. Just turn your volume down a little bit. 3, 2, 1.
Fuck.
Poop.
Sugar.
Funny.
So,
Hashtag first burp.
what is this film? Why was it made?
Well, good
Is it?
question.
It's apparently
Isn't that what we all want to
It's
know?
based on an old Japanese movie. Have you seen that?
Yeah, it's based on like this like not very popular. So like it's based on these old Japanese movies that are like.
Oh, who
really,
watches those?
Like,
Where they just like dance around in
Yeah,
costumes and
it's just like
it's
it's just
on
like
strings.
a fat guy in a rubber monster costume knocking over cardboard buildings, and the dubbing is like really cheesy, and they're so bad they're good. Like you can't help but love them because they're so bad, and they're your guilty pleasures. But this was the movie that it finally took some real artistic creatives to come on board, have a look at the property, and reinterpret it wildly and imaginatively for almost the 21st century.
Yeah.
And really finally give I believe it's pronounced Gojira what it deserved
Uh-huh.
in terms of a cinematic experience.
Yeah, it really summed up the coming millennium. Just really put a nice ribbon on it.
Oh, 2 seconds. I thought I was going to burp. It's good.
Oh, that's fine.
Don't worry. Yeah.
So, what is this film? 1998's Godzilla.
Yes.
Why was it made?
Excuse me.
Tank.
Excuse me.
So,
Why was it made?
Yeah,
Well, okay.
how did an American remake of
Not to
the already
promote-
but 30, 40 year Godzilla film come out?
Not to promote another podcast, but have you ever listened to how it got made? It's pretty good. Anyway, Godzilla.
How it's made.
How it's made? Yeah,
Yeah,
not the
well,
podcast
no.
version of the show.
Oh no, I mean like the podcast version. It's like how did this get made? And it's like with the guy.
The guy who plays Pimento in Brooklyn
Yeah,
Nine-Nine.
he's really funny, and basically they do like Wild Wild West, which Stephen only seen for the first time like quite recently.
Oh, mate.
Wild Wild West in this movie would make a
What-
Wild
what-
Wild double feature.
We should have done it. We should have done a
The
double
90s
feature.
was a fun time. Don't even think that was the 90s.
So Ross, in our last run of episodes together, in the old days when we would pre-record episodes,
Yeah.
um,
We're in the millennium now, bitch.
we were talking about the Heisei Godzilla movies, and from 1992's Godzilla vs. Mothra onward, I had been, dropping hints to you that, something had been bubbling in the background of these movies.
Uh-huh.
Something else had been in the works abroad. That the Japanese Godzilla series was winding down slowly to pave way for an American reboot or whatever it was going to be at that time. So yeah, when the Heisei Godzilla movies did eventually end in '95 with Godzilla vs. Destroyer, that was a conscious decision to end that run of movies to pave way for this one.
Uh-huh.
So there were many iterations of what would ultimately become this movie. Some of them were things like Godzilla versus the Gryphon, which was a hugely like sci-fi. It was a hard sci-fi take on it. You know, Godzilla was the product of. It was created by aliens, and Godzilla fought this huge shape-shifting monster called the Gryphon, and then it changed hands. Jean Debon, who directed Speed, was attached at one point.
Oh, mate, they could have had the guy that made Speed make Godzilla. That would have been amazing.
Yeah, it's called Speed, isn't it? The bus movie.
Yeah, the bus movie.
The bus that couldn't slow down.
The bus. What's that from?
The Simpsons.
It's The Simpsons.
What episode is it?
I can't remember, but
Episode 40.
Billy and the Clonosaurus. Speaking of which, Hank Azaria and Harry Shearer are both in this movie.
And
That's right.
And Nancy
We'll get to
Cartwright.
that. We'll get to the
Nancy
Simpsons
Cartwright,
Fest in this. So, you were saying about different iterations of this Godzilla.
Lots of directors, a lot of people were attached at certain points, and it's one of these projects that just kept changing hands, etc., 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 until it eventually ended up in the hands of Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin, who fandom heroes these days. They were fresh off the massive, monumental success of Independence Day, and so the higher ups at TriStar obviously thought they were the right people to bring Godzilla back to bring Godzilla to the American big screen for the first time, and this is the movie we eventually ended up with. Shall we, the three of us, do what we usually do in these podcast episodes?
Which is talk about the film.
Talk about the film, but
I didn't know that we were doing that. I'm out.
Yeah, you done.
Shall we just fire into opening thoughts, initial thoughts?
Yeah.
Laura, do you want to go first?
So just a little context here. When my dad watches films, he watches them like in parts.
It's very stressful.
And yeah, it is. And so I have actually seen this Godzilla so many times, but I've only watched it all the way through twice. And this is the second time, and this was a struggle. It was definitely a struggle. I have also been up since 6:30, so definitely a struggle.
That's fair.
Ross.
Well, I've only been up since about 10 o'clock.
Baby.
Part-timer.
I was actually late for work today. It was not very good. 15 minutes.
Abby, I'm sorry.
Oh, it was terrible. Oh, it was awful. So, I've also had a stressful day, Laura.
Send frowning emojis if you think it's bad that Ross was late for work, and to encourage him in future not to be late for work.
To be timely. To be
timely
prompt.
and prompt.
Just like this podcast was. So, Godzilla 1998. I liked it. Right. No.
Big surprise.
No.
Big surprise.
No. Right. Let me preface it. I like watching it. It's not very good. It is exactly... Well, what it is that there is something undeniably to me... there's something undeniably nostalgic about a good Emmerich 1990s blockbuster. I do want to premise, I have not... Here come the hate. I have not seen this film before.
Ross, can I say something? We were... well, here come all the reactions through now. For the past 5-10 minutes, we've just been looking at the live reactions on a laptop screen, and nothing's been coming through. And
we're just getting a wave of emotion.
The last comment we saw was Ethan saying hashtag first burp. And so now they're all flooding through, and I think we'll have a look at it on the tablet because we've missed a lot of comments. Sorry, everyone.
Some highlights.
See what people are saying about
my
my controversies so far.
It's better in portrait mode. Right, so Chris said, a conscious decision. That explains why the Heisei movies feel like they're unconscious. That's very true. David Baines says, oh yes, the shit Godzilla movie. Well, there's more than one.
Someone came up with the exact episode that Simpsons quote was in, which is good.
Springfield Files, Series 8, Episode 10. Thank you, Dominic.
We do.
Ross is ruining capitalism. Brett Marcus Cook just says, in block capitals, Ross. No, that's something I feel a lot. Laura, you feel that a lot, actually. You say that a lot.
My
Ross,
whole
no!
life is Ross, no.
Right, okay, so it's...
You keep going.
A terrible film in terms of...
Everything.
Tone and fucking actual having a spirit or meaning or anything that it wants to say. It's terrible in terms of character development, in terms of sort of having actual scenes that are about things and a sort of robust sense of humour. But again, it's just kind of vaguely enjoyable. I feel like if I saw it a second time, like you, Laura, I would surely die. It does not need to be 2 hours and 10 minutes long.
It was 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh, God.
20.
Yeah, it had
Which is
a double
way
ending.
too long.
And it is
2 hours 18 minutes with Ross's
it
TV's
is a
high
little
frame rate.
It is a little ripped off borrow from so many other different films.
Better films.
Oh, much better films. Yeah. But it is just so like truly kind of like inoffensively terrible to me.
That's
like
that's a great
it's like
point. Yeah.
Constant mild peril. Everyone is in such mild peril. I can't get too excited, but I also can't get too upset.
And
as it's
and the crowd goes mild.
It will be, and the crowd goes mild for mild boy Roz Menzies' mild tepid response to movies. Ultimately, it'll be interesting to have these conversations because the reasons that it doesn't work as a movie are completely different for the reasons that it maybe fails as a Godzilla continuation or as part of this franchise. And it'll be interesting to just talk about the movie generally, what's fucking going on with it, and to actually talk about, okay, well, how does this work in the context of our beloved Godzilla?
Yeah. Well, that leads us into the next point of discussion. Ross, as you know, as our intrepid newbie making their way through the grand voyage of the Godzilla series. Making my way downtown, much like Godzilla in this movie.
Yeah, true.
Making your way through the Godzilla series, and we've spoken a lot about the Godzilla series, a lot.
Yeah.
Where does this film fit in terms of the tones? And Laura, you can pitch in on this as well. Obviously, the tones, the themes, the everything which you both now understand a Godzilla movie to be, how Godzilla movies work, what they are, what they're about. How does this fit into that franchise?
Well, it was definitely the best. And it was definitely better than the original.
We can agree it's better.
We can agree it's the best. I mean, we don't have to have this conversation. We can just start on this assumption that it's definitely the best of the films.
It's Ishiro Honda would be dabbing in his grave.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a letter from the Honda estate, and they say it's all good.
So my thing with it is that it tonally fits nothing like before. Like it's such a strange film. It's just so weird. So many points during watching this, I was like, what are they going for? Like, am I supposed to feel sympathetic? Is it just a full-on destruction movie? Why do they keep calling him a he when, I mean, why? Of course, the most masculine thing to do is to be pregnant. I forget that. All men can do that.
The classic move.
Oh, sorry. Andy's asexual, so let's not be too mean.
No. Yeah.
Because that's a thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, they make a big point about Godzilla being 10 out of 10 dabs, 10 out of 10 best movie.
Good.
They make a big point of Godzilla being asexual, and yet they still refer to it exclusively with he pronouns, but, not to be fair to this movie, but I don't think this movie was particularly
bothered.
Yeah, it wasn't bothered about a lot.
Well, yeah, there
was a lot I wasn't bothered about. First and foremost, Godzilla as a character and as a cinematic franchise.
Yeah.
Let's cast our minds back to 1997, but before that, Laura, any good comments?
Chris Jurgen says, God bless Ross. And that vaguely enjoyable is the name of his autobiography. Same, pal, same. David Baines has said, I really, really tried to see this as just a goofy monster movie. I just can't. It just isn't even a fun movie. I'm paraphrasing because I'm dyslexic, so that's a thing. If it wasn't about Godzilla, I'm sure. It's just a poor monster movie, I think. That said, Godzilla stomping through the city is just where we see the feet is great. I'm really sorry I bastardized that comment, David, but I'm sure you'll understand.
You're doing good. You're like Roz in her booth.
Well, yeah. Audiences won't soon forget the mild peril of excessive fish deposits. What is with the fish, though?
It's funny, and it's a lot of fish.
I just don't get it.
Send laughing emojis for a lot of fish.
Okay, so the thing with Roland Emmerich movies that's always been interesting to me is the amount of effort that goes into them. Like, there are so many scenes, such short scenes that just take you to some random place or another. There's so many characters. This film has a massive cast.
Yeah, which
there
is
are
too
huge,
many.
yeah, exactly.
Way too many.
There are huge, sprawling scenes, and yet it is just such a mildly boring film. Like, there's nothing gone awful about it. There's nothing like egregiously terrible.
I was gonna say there is absolutely no tension. Like, I think I said that at one point. Like, you're supposed to be kind of on the edge of your seat. What scene did I say that in? I can't actually remember. But I remember saying, you know, you're supposed to be on the edge of your seat with, like, oh, there's torpedoes. But instead you're like, oh, yeah.
It was the scene where Godzilla is being pursued through the bay underwater, and it's evading the torpedoes, and it's about to hit the submarine.
It's just like,
Why don't we start from near enough the beginning? Why don't we just roll through what we remember the film, a general synopsis, and we can kind of chat as we go. So this film opens up like a lot of Godzilla films do, like the original film does, with a boat on
a disaster at sea.
Yeah.
Which is, you know,
a disaster on sea.
I think the opening with the disaster, the Japanese cannery, the cannery ship is the best part of the movie. Okay. That sequence is, I think, really, really good, and it's a classic Godzilla opener. Like you said, the original movie opens with a disaster at sea. Shin Godzilla opens not with a disaster at sea, but, you know, with something to do with a boat. Sorry, we're trying to silently communicate between the three of us whether
we should get some water.
Laura's offering to go and get drinks.
She's a trooper.
We're trying to
filling up our gloves.
Communicate with gestures, and it just wasn't working. So let's go for some comments. Everyone's reaction to Godzilla in this movie is, "Uh-oh, that's weird."
That is true.
It's a fish movie with a lizard problem. Will Godzilla impede my commute to work? Because if no, then I really don't care. New Yorkers. Well, okay, what I was going to say is, let's cast ourselves back to 97, and Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich are preparing their cinematic take on Godzilla. When they're building the hype for this movie, they're saying things in the... Sorry, I just saw the comment, Wild Wild West by Will Smith versus Come With Me by Puff Daddy.
We'll get that song to play us out.
Yep.
So, Dean Devlin.
Just one thing, guys, everyone who's listening, sorry, we're behind on comments. We'll get to them eventually, but there's so many coming through, which we're not complaining about at all.
Yeah, we love.
We love it.
There's so many coming through, but we'll be slow on reaching them because our devices are...
You're just too quick for us. You're just too quick-witted.
You're all too smart.
You're all on the ball.
And I am just way too slow.
We all are, Laura. We all are.
Thank you, Ross. I know I'm slow.
So, Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich, promoting their version of Godzilla. They're saying things like, this is a paraphrase, but it's very close to what they said. We now feel like we can bring to life the Godzilla that the original producers intended.
Quality.
And it's like,
bold words.
No, they produced what they intended.
Yeah, they made the film.
This film is what happens when... This film was a different case from, for example, J.J. Abrams, who went on record saying, you know, I'm not really a Star Trek fan. I don't care much for Star Trek, but, you know...
I'll do my best too.
Whatever. This is the opposite of that. These Devlin and Emmerich actively, and openly, admittedly, did not like Godzilla movies. Every negative thing you've heard about Godzilla movies repeated over and over again in Western media and criticism and etc. These guys are saying these
they
things
bought into it
on a hugely promotional level.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like they're shitting on the former films in their promos is kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Yeah. So they're coming from a place of actively disliking.
They're coming at fans like you.
Exactly. Well, you know, I'm not going to take it personally because I've not got...
Because it's not personal.
Because the Godzilla fandom is not important. But, no, well, I mean...
Right, podcast over. Bye, guys.
All fandoms...
Yeah, true.
All fandoms have an inflated sense of ego and self-importance. The Godzilla fandom is no different.
It may not be what you want to hear, but it's what you've got to hear.
Where was I? So yeah, this is what happens when people actively dislike a franchise that they're making a movie about.
Yeah.
And, here's what we end up with.
They missed the fucking point.
Yeah.
It just seems like such a... What's the opposite of labour of love? It just seems like such
Labour
a...
of hate.
It just seems like such a forced...
A hold down of hate.
Oh, I mean, I suppose we could do this. I mean, it might be kind of cool. Like...
Yeah, just fuck it,
what
go for
screams
it, why
of.
not?
And I was saying to Steven, like, again, with context, my dad watches a lot of these films all, like, switching over. I was very confused between this film, Twister, and Jurassic Park.
Totally fair.
Yeah, I mean, that is something that we will need to address, is the huge similarities of this film to everything that was coming out around about the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
And better movies.
Yeah, well, yeah, Jurassic Park, even Twister, you said.
Twister's an alright film. Put my hands up there.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
Also, a huge significant part of the end is a direct rip-off of Alien from like 10 or 15 years earlier. Like the stadium egg room.
See, that's too scary
filled
for me.
with
I wouldn't watch
smoke.
that.
Oh shit! Yeah, I never really
It's
thought of
like,
that. Yeah.
it's absolutely, when they go to Madison Square Garden and it's filled with
Alien
eggs.
came out 19 years before this.
Right, yeah.
Alien was 79.
When
I
you
think.
see Madison Square Garden and it's filled with eggs and there's a low smoke and
Yeah.
they're all pale in comparison to this huge chamber of eggs. It is literally just a big chamber egg room in Alien, but in Madison Square Garden. So, we meet after the first instance of our attacked Japanese fishing vessel.
I'm just gonna move the microphone a little bit. Sorry, guys.
Because I'm getting enthusiastic and loud. We meet Matthew Broderick's character.
Nick
Tapioca.
Tentacles.
The running joke is nobody can pronounce his name.
Nick Tentacles.
Nick Tentacles. The running joke is no one can pronounce his name. They either say Tapalopicus or
More like Nick Tortilla.
And we laugh every time.
Yes.
Our-
It was hilarious. I've
Nick
never had a second
Tarpaulin.
name that people could pronounce.
So Nick Tarpaulin is a scientist. He studies like nuclear.
What did you call him?
Nick Tarpaulin. So he studies the effects of radiation on creatures.
Worms.
He is taken by
Yeah,
the
for some
government.
reason he's in Chernobyl. No gas mask.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
chill,
no,
just
no,
chilling
no,
about,
Chilling in Chernobyl.
No,
That's
no,
the-
like supervision.
Yeah,
just driving about Chernobyl.
chilling in Chernobyl.
Man.
Nick tapping up on his podcast.
Chernobyl is so messed up that like the moss is really radioactive. The grass is really radioactive. To dig under the dirt is unleashing terror. What is Matthew Broderick doing?
Chris just said Nick titties.
Nick Tits
Yeah, so he's just chilling in Chernobyl.
Yeah, and then like his whole project gets taken over. Well, he it doesn't get taken over. It's just like, oh, you're coming to work for us. Like, why? Why do you want this scientist that's like hanging about with worms and like no mask, no safety at all? Why do you want him?
Yeah.
This
Yeah, well-
this uncharismatic lead.
Well, the thing
Why?
is, the thing that I find is interesting is that they pluck Matthew Broderick away from what he's doing, this sort of lowly scientist with a very niche career choice,
Yeah.
and pull him to Hawaii, where they need him to look at this big footprint they found of Godzilla, who's clearly come ashore. They put him with a bunch of scientists, and right away, everything that he suggests is immediately shot down and poo-pooed.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that he was specially selected for his
Yeah.
skills and knowledge.
And, like-
no one believes a word he says.
But like, okay, right. Why him?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
he's-
that was my point. Why him?
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, yeah.
Nick Tart.
Everyone throw in your best suggestions for Nick Trampoline's name.
Chilling in Chernobyl. Shocking worms. So Nick Tapala Babalada da Bamba is
La 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 bamba.
Angelo
So,
the protagonist, Angelo Badalamenti, is
Nick Badalamenti.
Well, I was
Well,
sorry.
so we were talking about he meets up with these scientists. One
Yeah.
more thing before you continue is this is where there's severe parallels to Jurassic Park 2. Because it's just Jeff Goldblum with the scientists chilling out. It has that very Jurassic Park 1, Jurassic Park 2. Nick tennis pose. So,
Yeah,
meet some scientists.
Yeah, this movie even more possibly riffs on Lost World more than it does Jurassic
Yeah.
Park.
Yeah, I
even
would
though
say
Lost
so.
World came out just the year before it.
Well, exactly. I mean, it's Gryphon. It still made a lot of money. I think the Lost World, didn't it?
I was just gonna
Oh, yeah,
bring
totally.
up like this absolute stale romance, and the first thing he does is get into this
fuck.
car, and they go
Sorry.
like, oh, you're cute. Do you have like a girlfriend? And he's like, oh no, my heart was broken so many years ago, and it's like, all right, weird.
Who cares? Yeah.
One, no one cares, and two,
What
what a
harassment in
fucking
the
question
workplace?
to ask someone. Just like, oh hey, you're new. You single? Whoa, a bit personal there.
So Nick.
Well, now Nick learns how it feels.
So Nick Tatangas is immediately he's jumped into this job, and he's immediately he's sought out for this mission. Everything he suggests is immediately shot down. Mm-hmm. Then he gets harassed.
Yeah, it's true. Harassed in the workplace. It's
Yeah.
a serious issue.
And
He shouldn't have to deal with it.
All he wants is to get his worms.
Ah.
And
Weirdo.
yeah, so
I mean, to be fair, Stephen, I think we've characterized him more than he was in the film. He doesn't want anything. He doesn't do or want anything. He just walks around and makes suggestions. And he kind of is interested. You can't really tell if he's scared of Godzilla.
he's not super.
Or if he, like, he
it's
doesn't.
because Matthew Broderick cannot emote.
He can.
Like, the only two things, like, okay, for as long as I've been aware of Matthew Broderick, the actor, which probably starts with this movie, maybe I saw it in like 2000 or something. Never thought he was a good actor. The only two films I think he gives decent performances in are Ferris Bueller, obviously, and The Producers.
Yeah.
Like,
But in both those films, he plays emotionally stunted weirdos.
exactly, yeah. And
I'm sorry. What about The Lion King?
Yeah.
Oh, well-
Again, emotionally stunted weirdos.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Simba's a wee freak.
Matthew Broderick is not a very good actor at all.
Let's just call it like it is.
let's, whatever.
Aye.
You might not want to hear it, but
But true.
you're gonna. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Matthew Broderick is not a great actor, and it's not obviously his fault that he's not given much to work with at all, because Nick T is one of the most two-dimensional characters, not only in the entire Godzilla series, excuse me, but in the history of popular cinema.
Yeah. Between 1992 now.
But it doesn't help that he's embodied by fucking Captain Charisma.
Yeah, the broads.
The Broadchurch. Matthew Broadchurch.
So, right away, Godzilla comes to New York. That kind of happens really quickly. Right away, Matthew Broderick pinpoints this creature was clearly some sort of lizard that was affected by nuclear radiation. Like, he really does get that across really quickly. Like, 15 minutes in. So, right off the bat, there's no mystery left to what this creature is. We understand exactly what it is. It's a lizard that got big. And it's just doing lizard stuff, walking around. And it's coming too close to the city. Uh-oh.
For some reason, it makes a direct beeline for Noik.
So, as
Ideal
is
place.
what happens in kind of some of the original Godzilla films, it moves pretty quickly. Godzilla shows up fairly quickly. They kind of, I mean, they play him for mystery a little bit. You don't really see him in the full body for a significant chunk of the first attack. You know, a lot of it is just the tail end, his tail walking away,
true.
his feet. There's a lot of shots of Godzilla's feet. Now, you know what they say about Quentin Tarantino? That's all I'm saying. I don't know what Rowan's into. Don't want to know. But there are a lot of shots of Godzilla's feet, flexing them, crushing things.
Even then, that should build tension, and it still doesn't. Like,
Yeah.
the whole
Oh, yeah.
mystery, like, oh, do we see him, do we not? Still doesn't build any sort of tension. You're still like, oh, he's here now.
Yeah. No,
That's
totally,
cool.
yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, you spend a lot of time looking at the backs of his legs, his tail, just as he turns a corner, or maybe shoulders from a window as he walks past.
Yeah.
And then when Matthew Broderick does finally encounter him, when they've lured a trap into the centre of the city with fish, because he's a lizard, and lizards love fish,
Tigers love cinnamon.
then you see him
hate
in
pepper.
front of Matthew Broderick's camera,
It's the other
and
way
he
around.
just
Right,
looks
isn't
real gross.
Yeah.
He's got like a really square jaw and really weird shoulders.
I was saying
He looks like a little hunched over,
a little person, yeah.
Yeah.
You were just about to say it, weren't you? He looks like a little person.
a little hunched man.
Not a little person, just a person.
He's little.
That is, I'm digging a hole. Save me.
Let's. Okay.
Well, should we just talk about that first reveal of Godzilla?
Why? There's nothing to it.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
I
the
was
thing.
going to say,
No,
there
it's
is
such
nothing.
a weird. No, it's such a weird opening because it is definitely going for the Jurassic Park thing. It is a big, dramatic CGI reveal. It's a dinosaur-ish creature, and that has to be noted as well. You're from Matthew Broderick. You're looking up at this creature. It is very much that first reveal of the dinosaur from Jurassic Park. That's definitely, without a doubt, what they're going for. It's the big money effect shot, and Jurassic Park made a lot with their money for that first beautiful dinosaur you see. Absolutely beautiful, breathtaking. They tried to go for that in a film that shouldn't be it. We've spent, like you were saying, at least been trying to build up some tension. It's supposed to be scary and menacing and vaguely foreboding. This is supposed to be something akin to a disaster film, but it's plinky plonky Spielberg style
Plinky plonky.
beautiful music for this scene, and it doesn't work. They're trying to at least go
It's
for
so underwhelming.
Matthew Broderick realizes it's a creature, a living creature, and all its beauty, glory.
Sorry,
that he
can
should
we
protect.
turn off this fucking Blu-ray menu?
No,
I
we're
have
still,
been wanting
we're
to.
still panning CGI street.
I am. I've been wanting to ask for a little like, not knowing.
Raf IL.
Do you want to read out
Coronelli.
some?
Comments?
Yeah.
I was gonna read you both a comment as a prompt.
Uh-huh.
So for what is maybe one of the better scenes in the movie, and what gave us all a lot of laughs. Raf says, total honesty, I really like the scene where the guy goes fishing and catches Godzilla. One of the only scenes I think was really well done. Discuss.
Yeah. And the way when
I say
I
that,
kind of
like,
want to say no just to
it's-
oppose you.
that scene is shot like when Fozzie Bear does stand up on the Muppet Show. Because the fisherman is Fozzie Bear and the two guys going, hey Joe, you gonna catch a little fishy today? They're Statler and Waldorf.
just sitting up on the little balcony bit.
They're even on a little balcony and they're just sitting hunched over and they make jokes and they go, no!
And then they get a comeuppance.
Then they all probably die.
Yeah, they all probably died. No, well, this is
So-
one thing. Roland Emmerich has done this in a few movies, and it actually is something that goes back to what I've always liked about earlier Godzilla films, is this very slice of life, showing you different scenes, different people, and that is something that Roland Emmerich is weirdly kind of good at. Just cutting to...
Is Roland Emmerich-
No, but it's something that is a main thing of his wheelhouse, is actually just showing you perspectives of other characters and other little slice of life scenes. There's a party that's happening that we cut back to a lot. There's the Fisher guys. Who else? What other kind of random little scenes do we get a hold
Soldiers?
of?
We get a lot of
A
soldiers.
few,
but
a sort of
Yeah.
smattering of random soldiers. There's the Mayor Ebert and Gene,
Mayor Ebert and his
Gene the
assistant
assistant
Gene.
Siskel. You and I are casting, obviously.
sorry.
What other small scenes and small little character bits?
That's it. That's the only one.
Those are the only ones. Listeners.
I want to, because we're a fair bit into this chat now. I would like to bring up in all seriousness, what I consider, and I want to preface this by saying I actually don't mind this movie. It doesn't mean I think it's a good movie, but I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me at all. But I want to bring up what I think is this movie's cardinal sin, and what, above all else, ultimately doomed it to failure, at least in the eyes of Godzilla fans. Mm-hmm. The fact that they made the inherent, massively important change from Godzilla being the subject, the product, the byproduct of American nuclear testing, and making it French.
Yeah, that's right. It's
They make it
Frenchies that
They
did
make
it.
it French, which, whether this was a conscious decision or not, absolves America's nuclear testing. The very important
nuclear arms.
the very important role that plays in the entire genesis of Godzilla as a character in a film franchise. What do you two think?
That makes sense. I mean, what do you think, Laura?
I kind of lost you a little bit. I'm gonna not lie. I think it's that kind of way where do you know in The Simpsons the little German boy in Germany, he's Swiss, Oh no, wait, no, in Switzerland he's German. That's it. Like, it's that kind of thing where it's like, oh, if we just make it a different country, it doesn't look so bad for our audiences that we're being made fun of.
It's like Manuel, the Spanish waiter in Fawlty Towers. When it was dubbed into Spanish, he became Italian.
Yeah, so it's that kind of way, which, don't get me wrong, there's a difference between the comic relief being a different nationality and the bombings of a completely different country, just to kind of absolve it a little bit. But I think if this film was made now, which you could argue it was, sort of, but I think if this film was made now, I think it would be American nuclear testing, because they seem to be kind of, like, not open to it, but, like...
At least acknowledging
it, I mean, i.e. Iron Man, which...
Yeah.
Talks a lot about, like...
Yeah, like Tony Stark's role in...
companies.
Yeah.
No, totally.
Yeah, to me that's this movie's... It's the only thing which I find unforgivable about this movie.
Well, I mean, you see it even in as much as the nuclear background of Godzilla is an incidental backstory, like an incidental origin story. There's not really any real repercussions of the nuclear testing beyond, okay, Godzilla's here. The nuclear element doesn't come back into it in any way.
Yeah.
You know, they don't use I mean, the whole point of the original Godzilla is that fundamentally the real question of the film is whether to use a weapon of mass destruction again.
Yeah.
There's no chance to talk about that or to consider. You know, it doesn't ask you to question whether or not the nuclear tests were good in the first place. It just sort of casually...
Just uses them.
Yeah, uses them as an offshoot without really engaging with it in any critical way. And so what that means is, beyond all else, the film's just hollow. It's just a weird creature running around and some people that don't seem that invested trying to stop it. And so I think part of the reason that, going back to what I was saying about this scene where there's beautiful music playing when Matthew Broderick first encounters Godzilla, they try to go for the classic thing where the hero recognises the humanity in this monstrous creature. But then for the entire film, Matthew Broderick doesn't really seem to care about Godzilla. Yeah. Doesn't want to protect the young. Doesn't care about killing the creature outright at the very end.
He has no strong feelings about anything.
He's not even trying to survive for his life.
No.
He's actively going into the situation and then actively not giving a shit when he's there.
You know, sorry. The background is just like a Labrador, a mushroom, and like this flower. It's just, sorry. Anyway, what I was going to say is I made that point as well. The fact that, like, you don't know what you're supposed to feel about Godzilla. Like, in Godzilla 2014, you can actively go, like, he's not a bad guy, he's just helping out. And you can feel sympathetic. Whereas, like, in the original Godzilla, you can go, alright, okay, he's a bit more of a menace, but you can kind of see the allegory. And even, like, Jet Jaguar, he's just there to give a wee hand to his best pal. And so, like, it's that kind of thing of, this film changes your perception too many times. Like, are you supposed to relate? Are you supposed to humanize it? Are you supposed to not? What is the protocol for this film? Like, it's so uneven and inconsistent.
Absolutely. Yeah. Which brings us back to what we were saying earlier, which I think we were saying earlier. What tone was this movie going for?
Yeah. Was
it funny?
Yeah.
Right. That's a genuine thing.
Is it funny?
I don't know.
Every single attempt at a joke in this movie falls flat.
Oh yeah.
This movie is tone fucking deaf.
Oh yeah, no, it's everything. It just throws everything. It feels like right. You know how some movies have like an A team and a B team that will maybe film like different scenes, like especially maybe the B team will go film the action scenes because that doesn't necessarily require the same like level of finesse of the main director, that kind of thing. This film feels like it had like 20, like every letter of the alphabet teams going out and just filming random scenes. Right, X Squad, you're going to go out and film this scene with two random fucking waiters in an alleyway. That's not a scene that happens, but it may as well be.
Yeah.
Two Dutchmen in a taxi have an argument, then Godzilla steps in his hat I just wrote a scene. Right, everyone, do your own best made-up scene that's two random, random people encountering Godzilla.
Fraser and Niles are on vacation in New York, and they're at New York's swankiest restaurant, and they waited months to get a reservation, and Niles is facing away from the window, whereas Fraser is facing towards the window, and when Godzilla walks past the window, and Fraser goes, "Good God, Niles, it's a kaiju!" And Niles says, "You're just trying to get me to give up my seat. Well, mister, it's not going to happen." And then cut away.
I love that. I love that.
That would absolutely happen, though.
Laura, try and beat that.
I cannot. I'm a little bit too sleepy, and
That's okay.
Steven is behind our Frasier plots. Steven's always the thoughts man.
We did a massive, well, I say massive, but it was like 30 seconds long. We did a big, the three of us were making a big joke earlier about Frasier and the Pacific Rim universe.
Oh,
Like how,
can't wait
like,
for that.
"Oh yeah, boys, I was part of the Jaeger program back at the start. I don't want to hear about it." "Oh no, Dad, Niles, we're very interested in hearing about the Jaegers." And like that, Laura, you said that like Marty's drift partner is Eddie.
Yeah, I love that idea that Eddie is the drift partner and not Frasier, and Frasier would be really annoyed about it. But Niles would be like, "Oh, but you're supposed to be my drift partner." And he's like, "Well, I was supposed to be Dad's."
No, the Niles drifts with Daphne. Martin drifts with Eddie, and so Frasier feels left out.
Frasier's on his own,
So
absolutely.
he has to go back to Boston to Cheers to find someone to drift with.
Oh my God! All 9 members of Cheers pilot a giant Jaeger.
And it's all just voiced by John Ratzenberger.
But it's also the bar of Cheers. It's the set.
And it's just like an 8-bit.
Why does no one want to drift with me?
Then all of them come in.
I just like the idea of like as this Jaeger is going about, it's like an 8-bit Cheers theme. I can't even remember what the Cheers theme is.
In Eddie and Martin's Jaeger, the big weapon reveal would be a big cane.
Oh, absolutely would.
Anyway, back to Godzilla 1998. What the heck were we talking about? How this film has no tone. It's all over the place. There's random bits. There's
Yeah, just
Can
fires out little scenes.
can I bring up a kind of prompt chat?
Okay.
of course.
The female character, what was that?
She was an up-and-coming woman trying to make her way as a news journalist.
What was her name?
Audrey.
Audrey! Because I kept
Audrey.
making Twin Peaks jokes.
I was
She-
thinking more Little Shop of Horrors.
She I can't think of an Audrey. Sorry guys.
So, well, this is probably a good opportunity to talk about the cast.
Yeah.
We've chatted about Matthew,
Rude.
but let's talk about Audrey.
Okay. No, well, I was just gonna say that, like, not only is she a really bad actress, but her plot itself was really awful. Like, the plot itself was just so awful surrounding her. It was a really awful romance. Like, how many of you came out of a romance 8 years ago and go, "Oh God, I'm gonna get back with that guy," and like she kept looking at him as if he's some sort of dreamboat, but he was kind of ugly.
Abraham says Audrey is about as emotional as a straw.
Abraham, you're too right.
yeah,
mate.
Much like a straw, she's draining the life from Nick.
Yes. But Laura, you made a good point, and we both laughed about this a lot.
Hi,
is
Angus.
She's looking at scenes of Nick on the telly and being like, "Oh, he's still a dreamboat."
But he's really not. Like, what?
he's
Girl,
ugly
what
as
is
fuck.
that hat?
There's just random
What's
scenes of
the
him
hat, man?
frowning as he walks into a military base. And she's like, "Oh
He
man,
looks-
he's still got it."
He looks like he shouldn't be there.
And
Like,
you know
he
what?
looks like he's
it's
been.
still Matthew Broderick.
He can't run. And
Yeah.
he does this goofy little shocked scream that works in Ferris Bueller and it works in The Producers because he's playing someone that's constantly having
Yeah.
a panic attack.
Sorry,
But
continue.
oh no, that's it.
I
But
was
in
going to just
this
point
is
out
terrible running.
the comment that I think your friend Connor Dornan said is Matthew Broderick did kill someone.
Yeah.
He ran
Not
over
in this movie,
No,
but-
he ran over someone and he only paid £180 to the family he did it to. Fun fact, everyone.
no good.
Still a movie star.
Simba's a wee freak.
Is he though?
Oh, yeah.
TV
What's
star.
he been in recently?
He was in
Like
that
nothing.
Ferris Bueller car advert,
Oh yeah,
Which
that's
was-
right.
which
hilarious.
was truly dreadful. To quote the in-betweeners,
But-
that was fucking dreadful.
Yeah, just to go back to Audrey, like, So Ross made a really good point. As the film progresses, she's still really keen on making her like reporter debut, even though like the worst circumstances are possibly happening.
Yeah, people are dying.
People are dying. They're stuck. They're gonna get eaten probably. It's a really bad time, but it's okay. Her hair's done nice, and she's gonna do a really nice interview.
Yeah,
She's gonna make it.
the evening of the first attack, which is described as tens of thousands of casualties and I think hundreds, possibly thousands injured. Actual vicious destruction of the city, and she's at her room being
Crying
like,
because-
damn it, I
didn't make it, and I upset in it.
yeah, like my boss stole my my piece fair, but
Fair.
she did like break into a military base and steal state secrets.
Paul
Yeah.
says, can we all agree that Godzilla 1998 is the worst episode of The Simpsons?
Yeah, I can
Yep.
judge that. Well,
Let's watch the
this is our
Simpsons
chance, yeah,
after
because
this.
I mean, honestly, for me, one of the more engaging parts is
Abraham says it's like someone trying to do their makeup to look good during 9/11.
yeah, it's about right.
Good lord.
Right.
Anyone
You
else?
said three
sorry.
cast.
There's 3 Simpsons cast. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh no,
Right, we're
it
all
was
getting excited.
sorry.
We're talking over each other. Laura, what were you
It
going to
was
say?
not exciting. Someone else. It's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's
Cool.
really boring.
No, I want to hear it now.
I was going to say, did
Laura,
anyone?
you're on the spot, Laura. Tell us your story, Laura.
It's so boring. I was going to say, did anyone else notice the building that looked like a smartphone? I just really wanted to talk about that, guys. I'm really sorry.
The building looks like a smartphone. We'll put a screen cap up on the
Yeah,
page.
can someone find out what that building was?
And Laura can do a live
It's a
commentary.
building that may or may not still exist in New York.
Stop
Laura
it.
can do a live commentary of that still image.
Wait a
At
minute.
least an
So
hour.
there are 3 Simpsons cast members in this movie.
That's right. Hank Azaria,
Harry Shearer
Harry Shearer,
and Nancy Cartwright.
in a small cameo role.
Yeah, she says, I think your story just walked by the window. And that's it.
Yeah.
So,
It's a
We'll
shame
start
she
with Harry
didn't
Shearer.
have a.
I don't know. Sorry, Laura.
I was going to say, it's a shame she didn't have a backwards cap on and skateboard.
Yeah, no, I
That'd be
would have
rad.
preferred if she did the Nelson voice.
I can't do that. That was so bad.
I have no explanation for either of you why there's 3 Simpsons cast members in this movie.
Roland Emmerich was
Okay.
like, "Hello,
It's not even a
Harry, would you like to be in the movie? Lisa, I love your work.
This is what? Did you say Misa, I love
Lisa.
your work? Oh, right.
Lisa,
No,
I love
don't
your
get
work.
Ross
Who's
started
Who's
on.
Lisa?
Lisa Yard? It's not Lisa. Nancy Cartwright. Get
Lisa Simpson is the character voiced by
Thingy Yardley. I thought it was Lisa Yardley.
yeah, but not by Nancy Cartwright.
No.
Her name's not Lisa Yardley, is it?
That's not, is
right.
it?
No, it's something Yardley.
Something.
Yardley. It's some.
Nancy.
No, it's not Nancy Cartwright.
I'm looking it up,
Right.
guys. I'm googling it.
But what I was going to say is, this isn't even a 20th Century Fox movie. I have no explanation
Yes,
why
it's not like a
there's
studio thing.
3 Simpsons actors. Yardley Smith.
Yardley Smith. That's
Ah.
Why there's 3 Simpsons performers in this film.
it. I guess either
I
they
hear
all
you
love
saying that.
Godzilla or Roland Emmerich loves them all. Maybe
I
they just
hear you saying
genuinely
that,
all
but
know
why not?
Roland. So Harry Shearer's just playing your general kind of arsehole boss, trying to flirt with his
Sleazy.
employees, sleazy, steals one of his employees' work, you know, and rightly so kind of gets a bit of a comeuppance at the end and throughout the movie, and spends a lot of the time just standing in the rain. I mean, I say comeuppance, he stays in the same place for most of the movie.
He doesn't get fired or anything.
Oh, that's true.
No,
yeah,
he
keeps
doesn't.
his
He-
place as head of the
he
business.
loses his
She
PA.
quits, you're right.
He gets no comeuppance. She says, I quit. He's not going to fucking care.
Yeah, that's true. And
He hasn't cared throughout the movie.
he gets no comeuppance for being a horror to his employee.
He has
being
no
minging.
comeuppance for
And stalling her career because she won't date him.
stalling her career because we all
won't
know
go out
why.
with him, yeah.
Yeah. And you know he gets no comeuppance, and he's just a horrible man.
A nasty employee.
He's a nasty boy.
Or a nasty employer. But we do have Hank Azaria as Animal, the cameraman.
Yeah.
Well, it was probably the most engaging part of the film. You know,
No,
any scene...
No,
that- right.
no. If we're talking about the cast,
Right, let's talk about the
Okay,
cast.
The 3 of us can agree, hopefully. Maybe if you don't agree, you know, raise your voice, but whatever.
I don't agree.
The most engaging cast member and character is Jean Reno, Leon the Professional, as Philippe Roche.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh
He
yeah,
was-
absolutely.
He was the most exciting. I wanted to
But
know
even
more
then-
about him.
Yeah, exactly, because he's... And again, that's not the writing. That is just Jean Reno being a sort of enigmatic, quite eye-catching performer.
Yeah.
Like,
And he was giving it. He was really going for it.
Yeah, for his character, it was a Frenchman that doesn't like American coffee.
You call this cafe? And it's like, seen that scene where he's looking at the donut, he's inspecting the donut as if he's never fucking seen one before, and he goes, no croissant? It's like, okay, we fucking get it.
Yeah.
They're French.
Yeah.
That's
Because French are picky, they're also evil.
And they love their croissants.
They love croissants, they nuke things, and...
They don't know what donuts are. They're illegal in France.
Yeah, exactly.
Fun fact, donuts are illegal in France.
Put that on the page.
No, since the release of this movie.
It echoes
Since the release of
upcoming
me right now.
Freedom Fries debacle.
Tired.
Right. Best character is obviously Mayor Ebert. Let's just be real.
Mayor Ebert. Okay, so...
It's actually kind of fun. I quite like them. I thought they were good.
As far as I understand, Mayor Ebert and his
Assistant
personal
Gene.
assistant Gene. Did you notice how all their campaign logos and stuff were thumbs up and things like that?
Quality.
I love that.
Mayor Ebert and his assistant Gene, as far as I know, were Emmerich and Devlin poking a little bit of fun at Ebert and Siskel because they had not been exactly kind to their movies. Mm-hmm. Ebert and Siskel, in their review of this movie, said, "Yeah, that was really funny. That was really funny that you put us in the movie, but why didn't you kill us off?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Why didn't you kill us?
Or do anything with the characters.
Yeah.
You're just there to give out more information and kind
And
of
it's
be
like,
funny.
At the end, when Mayor Ebert's saying, you know, we can make this work. We can make this, the mayor that killed Godzilla, and Gene's saying, oh, it's a bad idea. It's like, oh, and then Gene quits. He just thumbs up, thumbs down,
Wrap
and
it
walks
up.
out. It's like, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares?
That's a good point about just the...
This guy's had
use
like
them.
6 lines.
I mean, no one gets used. No one really goes anywhere. No one gets any real...
They get back together, maybe.
Maybe.
In the sequel,
Woo!
Gene and Mary Burt.
I didn't mean that. I meant.
Who did you mean? I was reading the
Matthew
comments.
Broderick and...
Matthew Broderick and
and-
the
What's her name?
Audrey.
Audrey.
But I like that, Stephen. That's where your mind went. What comment are we looking at?
I'm just keeping up to date.
Yeah, just seeing what's going on.
So, what do you wish to discuss now?
Well, we could probably just jump to the general ending. How everything eventually ties up with all our cast members.
Sort of, I guess.
Well, not so much the ending itself, but the big finale, where we've all ended up at Madison Square Garden. Jean Reno has revealed himself to Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, he kidnaps.
He kidnaps him and reveals, look, I'm actually with the French Secret Service.
Yeah.
When do you exactly find out about their involvement with the nuclear tests? Is it right away there or is it right at the end? I
Who
forget.
fucking knows?
At some point, this explanation about French nuclear testing being the reason for all this is revealed. So that's why the French are involved. They're trying to just keep a damper on their things.
Paul is asking, what exactly is the story behind the rumours that Godzilla was going to fight Ghidorah, or at least another kaiju in this one? We ever get any background on that from the production? As far as I know, Paul, I talked earlier about earlier iterations of this film, like Godzilla versus the Gryphon, etc. Well, we'll talk about this a bit later, but, you know, sequels to this movie were planned.
We'll talk about that.
But as far as I know, at one point, Ghidorah was meant to be featured in a sequel to this movie.
Yes, that's interesting.
So that's as far as I know about that, Paul.
So we should talk about... Someone's asking us what we think of Godzilla's general look.
Laura, what do you think of the look of Godzilla in this one?
Well, I already described it as a little person, so I don't know if I should really...
I mean...
I love the toy. Does everyone remember the toy?
Which
I don't
one?
have the toy.
Where you put your hand in up his butt, and it was like you
Yep.
did that with his mouth. No one can see, but I'm doing a kind of clapping noise with
I'm going to
my
tell
hand.
you a funny story right now.
What did you do?
I had the head puppet toy of this Godzilla, and you pressed a little button inside and it roared. It was a hand puppet. But it was really nice. Usually
I wanted to see if anyone had seen it. Sorry, I got really excited. Continue.
Oh yeah, no, Malcolm. Malcolm is saying your friend Malcolm, isn't it?
Yeah.
Malcolm is saying that the nuclear testing takes place in the opening credits. No, we know that, but we're talking about at what point in the movie does Jean Reno's character admit to his country's involvement with it? I think it's near the start when Nick and he are both looking at the wreckage of the ship.
Right.
And then I think he reiterates it later when he kidnaps Nick. I think
that
that's
makes
it.
sense.
But the Look of Godzilla. Oh yeah, okay. So I had a hand puppet of this Godzilla. And one day I took it into primary school.
As you do.
As you do. Show everyone that. But during a class, just during a lesson, I had this Godzilla 98 hand puppet on my hand under the desk. It was under the desk, and I was like just mucking about with it, and it roared.
Oh no!
It roared in the middle of a silent classroom, and like the entire class just turns and looks at me, and I think I just must have went beetroot in the face, and it got taken off me.
And did you ever see it again?
I got it back at the end of the day.
Shocking, Stephen. Angry faces, angry reacts for Stephen's flagrant breakage of classroom rules.
Brilliant.
Send angry react to teach me a lesson about classroom etiquette.
I can imagine you. That's so
Why you're a
funny.
wee nerd.
We gimp.
So
the Godzilla design in this one, Emmerich and Devlin's modus operandi. Fun fact: the monster designer was called Patrick Totopoulos, which is where the character gets its surname from.
Of course.
Of course. Why not?
It was.
Maybe they hated him.
I saw that name in the credits actually.
who
I thought
knows?
it was a funny name
Who
before
knows?
I knew who
And
the character
indeed,
was.
who cares?
Who cares?
So I believe what Devlin and Emmerich said they were going for was realism.
Realism.
What?
Yeah, in a giant monster movie. You know,
Yeah.
you can make a giant monster movie. You can make it grounded. You can make it feel like it takes place in the real world.
Which this film does not.
Yeah, but maybe when you make a giant monster movie, you don't have to go for realism. Maybe you shouldn't, and that's an okay thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah, quite right.
You don't need to make us believe that this thing could actually be a scientifically classified species that exists in the Earth's current ecosystem.
Because either way, it isn't.
Either way, it isn't. Yeah. So, and especially when you give it the 1950s backstory of
Nuclear creature.
exactly. So I think that's what they were going for.
It's a dinosaur, basically.
It's dinosaur iguana.
It's got longer legs. It's got thinner, muscular
Yeah.
legs. Godzilla is famous, as we've always said in the podcast, for being a thick boy. He's always had thick. I have in the past described them as juicy, thick, nice thighs. Godzilla has had little chicken leg.
Is
One thick boy. He had chicken scratch legs. These little spindly dinosaur arms, kind of. A much longer, bigger, kind of T-Rex style jaw. He's just a lot more dinosaur looking on the whole for what's apparently more of a lizard development. It's just kind of strange.
I think. Do you know the saying like a camel is like a committee designed horse?
Yeah.
I think this is a committee designed Godzilla.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think it's been a lot of people in a room saying, "What about this? What about that?" And they've all said yes. So it's that kind of way where you end up with a lot of very strange features, like a really quite long neck, a really, really long tail, and slim features, which doesn't look very good. So they have a lot of, instead of having a lot of like one big feature, they have a lot of little features that look strange on this thing.
That make up a strange hole.
Yeah. It just looks odd. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's
Well, he's got a different name, doesn't he?
big
Does
boy.
Godzilla. They call him something.
They call it Gojira.
No, I mean the fans. They have a specific. There's
Zilla?
a very different name for Godzilla, isn't
Is
there?
it Zillow?
It's
No.
well, there's there's levels to this, my dudes. So ever
I'm having a
since
wee
this
look.
film's release and its less than enthusiastic fan reception, some fans have taken to calling it Gino, which is an abbreviation of Godzilla in name only.
Like a rhino.
Which,
a Republican in name only. That's what they called Reagan. For a
Is
bit.
that right?
I've done my research.
What a horrible man Ronald
Yeah.
Reagan was. Anyway, let's not get into that.
Tear down
so-
this wall.
It's like he was here.
I
Ronald
said
Reagan.
that so many times in Berlin.
Ronald
Steven was
Tentacles.
ready to chuck me over the Berlin Wall.
It's true. So fans called this Gino, Godzilla name only, and continue to this day. When this iteration of Godzilla reappeared in 2004's Godzilla Final Wars, Toho officially rebranded their version of this character Zilla,
Right.
because they said that this incarnation took the god out of Godzilla.
Ah,
So
yeah.
they called it Zilla. And in Final Wars, as you'll see, Ross, this creature does not fare well.
Right, so they utilise this creature again at Will Return.
But here's my thing, okay? I find Toho's rebranding, at the time, when Final Wars came out, I was 12 years old. As I found like, yeah, Gino, it's Zilla now. The real Godzilla's going to kick its ass. 420. And, you know, when I was 12 years old, 420 and all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And nowadays I just find it a bit cringy.
Yeah, it's fair.
Like
it's stomping
That's
on...
mega fan pandering.
Like, oh, we didn't like the American remake either.
Yeah.
We regret it too.
Yeah, and especially when you consider how Final Wars went down within the fan community as well. I love that film, by the way, but whatever, we'll get to that in several episodes' time.
Yes.
But I find Toho's rebranding of this version of Godzilla as Zilla to be really cringy, and it just fans the flames
Yeah, that's fair.
of like the pointless hatred of this movie and its version of Godzilla.
Uh-huh.
Because at the end of the day, like, okay, here it comes. I knew it was going to pour out.
Spicy Stevens
I knew it was going to pour out at one point. It's almost poured out
Get it out.
at loads of points in previous episodes, but I knew it. Okay, here it comes. Okay.
I'm gonna go.
Whether you like it or not, this is a Godzilla movie. And it features Godzilla. It features Godzilla, and it's a Godzilla movie. It's called Godzilla. The creature in it is called Godzilla. Whether you like it or not, or whether Toho like it or not, they licensed the character. Toho okayed every single one of Devlin and Emmerich's creative decisions, because they were put past Toho at every stage. They okayed them all. And
I want to be that guy. I want to be the guy that...
Ross, you would be that guy. You would be that guy all the time.
this is the bit where the comments might get interesting. But
So far, Chris says, go Steven, sick him lad.
this is a Godzilla movie, and no amount of attempted rebranding, whatever, is going to alter that. That you're still going to walk into fucking HMV in the middle of Scotland and pick up this film off the shelf called Godzilla. Whether people like it or not, this is the most widely known Godzilla movie.
Yeah, well, it definitely is.
Maybe it's Godzilla.
My family really liked this
It's
one.
weird that I haven't seen it. It's
Ma-
like lucky that I haven't seen
Maybe
it.
these days it's now Godzilla 2014 or the original in film circles. But this was for a while, and maybe still is, the most well-known Godzilla movie, and it's the most well-known public entry point to the franchise. This film continues to generate so much vapid hatred, and I mean hatred, seething. There's like grown men in their fucking 40s who cannot get over this nearly 20-year-old movie just for existing.
It's me.
This,
One of them. I'm one of them.
there were people at G-Fest in 98 and 99 with like effigies.
Also me. They were all me.
Effigies of
What's
like
an effigy?
Like a burning, like Guy Fawkes. Like a burning...
Oh, wow.
effigies of Devlin and Emmerich.
That's too much,
saying
man.
like, die Emmerich, and it's like, Jesus God, go outside and play.
Play with your Zilla toys.
Get them taken off you.
Yeah, get the
Get them
puppets.
taken off you, yeah.
Here's a puppet. Go wild, boys.
And
That's what happened at G-Fest. They just came up and went, no, that's enough now.
there
Take
is
their stuff
there
off
is
them.
a big false narrative perpetuated by certain factions of the Godzilla fandom for what is now coming on decades, that this film
ruined the Godzilla series. It ruined everything. The Godzilla series has never gotten over it. That is absolute bullshit. This film had absolutely no short-term or long-term negative effects for the Godzilla series. Any claim to the contrary is absolute nonsense. After this film, 1998, Toho saw it, went, no, and released their own Godzilla reboot the very next year.
Yeah.
The start of a series.
Which was?
Godzilla 2000 Millennium. The start of a series which lasted 5 years through to 2004. Through to the series' 50th anniversary year. This film is a Godzilla film. The creature in it is Godzilla. Yeah, it's unrecognisable as Godzilla. But you know what? It is.
Yeah.
It is.
We got to get there.
Yeah, you got to get there. Just years ago, I learned to just put my dislike of this movie behind me, and God, it's refreshing. It's
like a weight off your back.
It really is, because it's so easy to hate.
Yeah.
It's so easy to hate something, especially if it's something you're passionately invested in, and you feel like your fandom and your enjoyment is being personally attacked or taken away from you. But that is not what happened with this film. It was made by people who didn't like. It was made by people who didn't like the Godzilla series. Guess what? They never worked on another fucking Godzilla film.
Yeah.
Ever.
They got them away from
They
me.
were gone.
Roland Emmerich personally came to my house and shit on my DVDs. He shit on my tapes. So I have a personal beef with it.
Well,
but
funny.
everyone, so that doesn't apply to me.
Years ago in a Godzilla Facebook page, which will go unnamed, there was a campaign for people to video themselves destroying their copies of Godzilla 1998. And I was commenting saying, this film at the time came out 17 years ago! Fucking get over it! And that is still my stance.
Paul here makes a really good comment that I think, he says, if you think about it, compared to Shin Godzilla, 98 Godzilla is pretty traditional. Structurally, it follows all the beats of some of these kind of lesser Godzilla films that we've had in the past.
Do we mean the design of the creature or
not the design of the
movie's
in
narrative?
general plot as it is
I think though it follows too many plots of Godzilla films.
In a way
It
that
follows a
almost
little
doesn't
bit,
translate.
Or even just monster movies.
Yeah,
In general, because we have the monster in this. We have Godzilla in this movie running from the military, running away, hiding, instead of standing facing the military like Godzilla always has and continues to do. But yeah, that's just to get off my spice rack. That's
I love that. I'm going to use that.
That hashtag Steven's angry reacts for Steven's spice rack. That is where I come down in this movie. I don't particularly. I don't think this is a good movie by any means.
Oh, so many people had that toy. Sorry.
I can sit and enjoy it.
Yeah.
However,
we enjoyed
subversively.
It's long as fuck. It should be that long.
I can't watch.
It's fucking
It's too long. It's far too long.
Way too long.
It should be 15 minutes.
I would never make the case that it's a good
Yes.
movie.
No.
I can enjoy it, but I don't care about it.
Yeah.
This is an entry in the Godzilla series. It's always going to be. It's never going to go away, and it never should.
We need to be proud of it. We need to accept it.
Don't be proud of it, but you just.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately we have come to the same realization here. Yeah,
So what?
so what?
Yeah. What is a franchise? What is a non-American film franchise with a shitty American reboot?
Exactly, that's it. Then they've truly made it.
Genre-
The Godzilla series hadn't made it until then.
Jean Reno's been in two, Godzilla and the Pink Panther.
That's true. That is true.
Jean Reno.
That's Jean Reno's thing. The
Curse of Reno.
Terrible remakes.
I was actually going to throw out a controversial opinion here
Uh-huh.
because I seen a comment that said you didn't see that kid at G-Fest this year that said I hate Shin Godzilla. I actually don't like the film.
Yeah.
It was a bit too scary, a bit too real for me. I'm quite happy to go back to the 70s where it was safe.
With Megalon.
With
Smog
Megalon.
monsters.
No, just with Jet Jaguar Ross.
Okay,
Don't you
fair.
dare ever suggest otherwise. With the brother, the gay dads, and it's going to be great. So, throwing
Man,
that
we
out
should
there.
watch that again.
We should all the time.
So, I mean, we've chatted for a fair wee while with this
Yeah.
one because I think just the joy of being live with you guys has
It's
been a
kind
lot
of
of fun.
fun.
And honestly, this film has probably generated the most discussion we've ever had because I feel like we're nowhere near done talking about this. But we're wrapping up to the point where we should probably start wrapping up.
Probably, yeah. Well, does anyone else have any, not quite, closing thoughts about Godzilla 98, but anything else you want to bring up? Like, for example, like I was saying, the characterization of Godzilla in this movie. Not the look of the monster or anything, but the characterization. This Godzilla actively runs from the military. It hides. It seeks shelter.
Yeah. I also made a good point to you as well.
And loves fish.
Is this the first Godzilla film where he climbs?
Yeah.
And it was odd. I mean, King Kong, it's fine because he, seems like he should be able to do that.
That's his thing.
Whereas, seeing a giant lizard dinosaur thing scale a building, it was like, whoa, what's going on here?
And there's
weird.
There's that one gratuitous shot where Godzilla just dry humps a building.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It goes up against the building.
He's just trying to take an Instagram selfie.
Digs its crotch in and goes, throws his head back.
If Ross gets a complaint, this is your fault. But yeah, that was odd. Weird.
It just speaks to Devlin and Emmerich's fundamental misunderstandings of Godzilla as a character.
I was just going to bring up, because we haven't really spoke about it, Godzilla Babies.
Yeah, let's talk about the babies.
You mean the raptors from Jurassic Park?
We should do,
they become
Godzilla
little baby
babies.
raptors, but they're born like the eggs from aliens.
Eggs.
They are the eggs from aliens.
They're
They play it for that shock horror, horrible realization what's happening. Matthew
Even
Broderick
then,
does
that's not tension building.
Well, yeah, I
Sorry.
mean, it's not done in a very scary way, but they try to.
Sorry.
Oh no,
Get back to
you're
that.
right.
I just wanted to throw it in.
And Matthew Broderick does a speech about how they're born pregnant and ready to give birth, so they will propagate immensely quickly. They put that kind of body horror shock in there as well, but again, none of it lands. They all make weird sarcastic comments. Matthew Broderick gets chased around and does comedy pratfalls and elevator jokes with a bunch of raptors in a fucking sports hall, and it's ridiculous. Then just meets up with Jean Reno again. They do a little live stream at the Madison Square Garden Centre. Honestly, one of the more emotional moments of the films, a moment of the film where I actually was kind of into it, was when Matthew Broderick was like, yeah, we should bomb us all, please. Let us die. If the movie had ended there, that would have been banging.
That would have been
They all
banging.
just got blown up.
I actually missed how they got out because I went to the toilet.
Oh,
so,
don't worry, Laura.
sorry,
They just
guys.
ran around.
All right, okay.
Well, Jean Reno shot some chandeliers and
of
spooked
course.
the raptors off. And
That's how you do it.
then it turns out that the only thing stopping the raptors from getting out was a push to open door
Yep.
Yep.
that they
It's
somehow
like
hadn't pushed.
signs. Yeah. This the bits with the baby Godzillas was very, very similar to Jurassic Park when they're in the kitchen.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
It was so the same kind of, not even humor, but just that kind of style of not quite slapstick, but kind of, I don't know where I'm going with this, but you know
I
what
get
I
what
mean.
you're saying, yeah.
It's not funny, comedy or anything, but it's almost like
Mild peril.
They tried to make
mild
it a big,
peril, but
physically engaging scene. and it
that's
just
I
doesn't-
think that's where I'm going. He tips the basketballs and then he tips the
Oh, the
bouncy
basketballs,
balls.
and they all slam and they all slide into each other.
It's
Yeah.
like, do you know in Jurassic Park when the raptor hits the kitchen door
Yeah.
because it sees the kid in the mirror? It was kind of evident of that, but it just was so flat.
Yeah, it's not
It
scary
was just
or
like,
shocking or
oh.
a surprise.
Okay,
They've all fallen over.
That's it.
Yeah.
Matthew's run away.
and I don't know how much I really care for the characterization of Godzilla caring for its young being dead.
It's never...
Because, see, if it was born pregnant and could do it again, because if it's asexual, let's just assume that it knows how to reproduce again, it wouldn't be that sad.
It just can. Yeah, just...
It would just... I mean...
just make
Right,
clear.
you know what it
Yeah.
is? They give you that one shot where Godzilla looks at its young and it's killed, and it kind of does a bit of an angry burst there. And as we've been saying for most of the movie, it's actually been the one being chased. It's fleeing. It's a creature that doesn't understand its circumstances and it's under attack for the wrong reasons just because of what it is. And it's killing people by accident, essentially. That's fine, but the movie doesn't go for that. you know, at the end of the movie does not try to pass a comment of like, look what we've done to this creature. Like, it does ultimately say, nah, we should have killed it, yes, kill it. Because if it was, then we would have had Matthew Broderick, after having this beautiful face-to-face thing with Godzilla, outright refuse the bombing of the Madison Square Garden, or at the very least done something to preserve at least one, or to contain the situation where something as drastic as full bombing happened. And he definitely would have done a lot more at the very end of the film once it's understood that Godzilla is still alive but incredibly weakened.
And instead, he options genocide.
Yeah. He's down with it. He doesn't seem to care. Again, he didn't care. He really doesn't care. He's got a girlfriend now. He's going to get home.
He's quite happy to trap it in the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah, so ultimately...
And bomb the fuck out
quite
of
happy
it.
to watch it die in agony.
So I can't really get a lot of, like, character moments out of Godzilla because... It's not really... You have to actually read into it a bit to get that out of it. To get like, oh, he's just trying to protect his young. Oh, he's just a scared creature. Like, you really actually have to try hard for the film to be telling you that, because it's really not. He's just there to get shot at.
Yeah, totally. No atomic breath.
And no atomic breath.
Fire breath.
Which, you know, you don't need to have that. It's not one of those things where you need to check off every Godzilla thing. But, again, I think it would have been helpful. It would have just changed the dynamic of the film a little bit. It would have given Godzilla something to come back with.
I would disagree. I think the atomic breath is a fundamental part of Godzilla as a character.
Yeah.
Because you'll notice a few things that you just brought up there, Laura. It has like this strange gaseous fire breath that it's like a gaseous breath that ignites. That was added at the 11th hour after fan outcry that it was leaked. There was no atomic breath.
Oh wow, really?
So
that makes a lot of sense because it did seem really forced.
Because no one acknowledges it. None of the actors acknowledge it. It's only in special effects sequences.
Yeah.
And stunt sequences. And it's used like 3 times, I think.
To no real significant
effect,
impact.
Yeah. So,
unlike, for example, we shan't spoil, but in Shin Godzilla, tasty scene. Tasty.
Thumbs down. Thumbs down. Thumbs down.
Thumbs down.
Chub Gene.
Says Gene. So, yeah, you know, this film obviously did have an unwelcome reaction from fandom, both in the Western world and in Japan. But while the film itself is still largely disliked today, remember those comments are way behind, Roz? Up to date
we're in the future now.
Pete Quint says atomic breath is a must. Thanks, Pete.
On it.
While this film is still largely disliked in the fandoms, it would not have an entirely unhappy legacy, because it gave us the absolutely brilliant animated TV show Godzilla the series.
Yeah, I remember you showing me
which
that.
is it follows on. You did ever watch the show, Ross?
No, I don't think so. I think I was aware it existed.
The
but I never
animated
saw
series of this movie that follows on from after the movie. So the first episode of Godzilla the series recreates in its first 5 minutes the ending of the movie.
Okay.
With animated versions of Nick and Jean Reno and
Nick is way cooler,
and
by the way.
Audrey and Animal escaping Godzilla on the Brooklyn Bridge and Godzilla dying on the bridge. Then starts animated recreation of the last egg hatching, and then we fire it in the series. Nick Totopoulos is the protagonist of the series, but he is wildly reimagined.
Okay.
Ironically, he is Nick in name only. He's Nino. He's still whatever kind of fucking scientist he is in the movie, but he's a lot kind of a, well, without painting it in broad strokes, he's a much cooler character. He's kind of more distant and a little bit gruff. He's not standoffish, but he stands his ground. And the movie Nick is played by Matthew Broderick. If animated Nick was played by an actor, it would be 90s Michael Keaton.
Okay, that's cool. I saw someone in the chat say earlier this would have been perfect for Jeff Goldblum, Nick in the film, which absolutely would have worked. Just anyone.
But then the Jurassic Park parallel.
Well, yeah, that would be too rife, but why not just go for it?
Nick in the series is completely reimagined as a different character, and it works so much better. And basically, what happens is the last egg hatches, it starts to grow into a new Godzilla. Nick manages to seek it out and hide it away, and the Godzilla imprints on Nick and thinks that it's its parent.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
And so Nick and some of the other scientists from the movie, the bearded guy with the cold and the red-headed lady with the glasses, and like they all go on adventures together around the world and fight monsters with Godzilla. And like there's a robot called Nigel who dies in every episode.
There's always a robot.
Literally, for example, this series did a 3-parter, which was Destroy All Monsters.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
With like a massive alien invasion, their own version of Mechagodzilla, created from the remains of the first Godzilla in this movie.
That's cool.
Called Cyber Godzilla or Cyberzilla, and like with this TV show introduced all of its own original monsters and kaiju, and they were all really really great.
That's cool. So do people like the show?
People love the show.
Well, that's good then. At least they made something that people are
and,
into.
The new Godzilla in this movie reinstates the atomic breath and stuff, and so Godzilla series, 2 big thumbs up.
Well, that's okay then. It got its closure then. It got a second one that people seem to be keen with. That sounds cool. I might check that out on later on.
It's pretty good.
Might have a wee look at that because that sounds actually really nifty.
Why don't you do it like, one day before you do another film? You have a wee swatch.
Get a wee swatch of that.
There's an episode where Godzilla and the gang go to Scotland.
Cool. Down. Are we in it?
And they meet a professor voiced by Roddy McDowell, and Godzilla fights Nessie.
That's amazing. Quality.
And it's fucking great.
Almost as good as the Scooby-Doo episode set in Scotland.
And okay.
Oh, no.
Okay. Oh, you mean Scooby-Doo and the Loch Ness Monster?
Yes.
Like, hey gang, shall we go out on the lake? That's Loch, laddie.
Vote worst Scottish character in anything.
Fat bastard.
Oh yeah, okay.
Sorry, I thought you said best. Best Scottish representation in Godzilla media. That episode of the Loch Ness Monster, or there's an American Godzilla comic from a few years ago where, shit you know, Anguirus attacks Edinburgh Waverley Station.
That's amazing. I thought you were going to ask best Scottish person in like science fiction, which would have been the Scottish guy in The Force Awakens.
Oh yeah, from Han Solo, you are a dead man.
From the Scottish planet.
Love it.
Indie Planet. Ask that the Kanji Club.
Alex Salmond in The Last Jedi, confirmed. He's one of the Last Jedi Council members still alive.
Love it.
Now, why? Why the rebellion must be independent from the First Order? I will not explain, but I'll make more flippant remarks.
Instead of a lightsaber, is it just a big Solero?
It's a big Solero! This is not the first time we've brought up Alex Salmond and his love of feeding Soleros.
His Solero gaff.
But
let's get back to it.
Are we wrapping up?
I think we're wrapping up.
I think we're wrapping up. Yeah. I'm a little bit
These guys
sleepy.
need to go to bed. Or
Good
if they're
night.
in the States,
No, they don't.
for their lunch and dinner.
Get back to work.
Get back to work. Get off your lunch break. Stop listening
What are you
to us
guys
in the
having
toilet.
for dinner tonight?
What's everyone having for their dinner tonight?
Or what did everyone had, is going to have, or is eating for their dinner?
Or what are you eating right now?
Yeah, what are you eating right
I
now?
had.
Fire. Right.
What would you like to
Final
eat?
question.
What would you like to eat while you're listening to the Kaijusaurus Podcast?
Yeah.
In a lot of the build up to this episode, I say, tune into the episode and you'll have the opportunity to win a poster of the legendary independent fan film, Legendary Beast Giant Wolfman versus Godzilla.
That's right.
And
Okay.
just by listening to this broadcast and by commenting and being active and reacting and stuff, you've entered yourself into the chance to win.
To the prize draw.
I don't think we're gonna draw like a winner live on air right now because
That would have been cool though.
it would have been very cool, but I can think of a practical way to do it, and I think the best way is to just take a note of everyone's names who was present and randomise it and pick out someone.
I can think of like 7 different ways better.
Pitch one.
I chose the best second name.
The independent judator,
Actually,
Laura P, will choose
best
the
one-
best last name.
The best Nick Totopoulos.
So,
But yeah, so
Paul,
I guess...
Paul had a tofu stir fry. Abraham had Mongolian meatballs. David had buried fish and chips. Raph had fish. Abby had a McDonald's and she's ashamed. Pete
It's
had
okay, I
lots
had a
of beer.
Nando's, Abby.
William has to go shopping. Yeah, look after yourself, William.
Yeah.
Ethan had hot dogs. Connor had a hoagie. Malcolm
What
had
is
pizza.
a hoagie?
A hoagie is
It's like a big sub sandwich.
It's a big fucking
no,
rank
I'm-
It's
thing.
a big fuck off sandwich.
I'm not about that, but I'm glad you had fun.
So,
What did you have for your
so
dinner?
what did I have for my tea? I had a steak sandwich
What
I
did you
had
have?
pizza, baby.
That looked like a lasagna.
Oh, it did, yeah. It was frozen
Laura
pizzas.
was cheeky.
I went to Nando's.
Cheeky Nando's. Cheeky
So
Nando's.
keep
Oh, likes for the Nando's.
Keep an eye out on the Facebook.
Like-
We will announce a winner.
for Nando's. Yeah, keep an eye out on all the social media platforms, the Tumblr, etc., the Facebook page, probably Facebook page, to see if you have been the lucky winner of a Wolfman versus Godzilla poster. I have lots of these posters gifted to me by the very generous Mark Hermiro at G-Fest last year.
Lovely.
Yeah,
They're so cool posters.
they're cool. I have one in my living room. It watches it for
Can I accidentally win one?
No,
No.
you're disqualified.
And anyone who already has one, who is currently in this chat, wink wink, is automatically...
Disqualified.
Yeah, there we go. So, Laura and Ross, any closing comments on that most controversial of kaiju films, Roland Emmerich's Godzilla?
Yeah. I really, really need a shit.
Oh, Ross, it's so funny.
Also, Chris just asked me if I would have anchovies on my pizza. No. Just no. Nah.
Okay, no,
Don't know if
Ross,
you're setting me up for a bet. Nah. No.
finish what you were... Well, don't finish.
Closing thoughts on
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
No, I think we covered a lot. It's something that I enjoyed watching. It's also something I recognise is not a very good film.
Yeah.
As I was saying, I find Roland Emmerich's filmmaking style just weirdly kind of nostalgic for all these terrible late 90s, early 2000s films that he made. They all have a very similar style. I've seen Godzilla before, but I actually had watched Day After Tomorrow like a lot when I was younger. So structurally, Godzilla is the exact same as that. All of these Roland Emmerich movies are structured the exact same way, like initial disaster, scientists getting involved.
Absolutely.
You know, it all works the exact same way. So just by sheer watching of this Godzilla, I felt kind of nostalgic for watching Day After Tomorrow, which is also a terrible film. So yeah, not very good, but not very bad.
Dennis Quaid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not awful.
The poor
not
man's
good.
Harrison Ford.
Yes. This is just the poor man's Godzilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
I'm not going to say it's not got merit unto itself.
But Godzilla, it remains.
Yeah.
Laura.
My closing remarks are that I seen this once before and I didn't really enjoy it. And now I watched it for the second time. I also didn't really enjoy it. It's too long. To be fair, though.
Oh, it's way
It's
fucking
far
long.
too long.
To be fair, any film for me that's over an hour and a half, it's really
It
got
loses
to do
out.
it for
Yeah.
me to like it.
Yep.
If I found a film that's like an hour and 26 minutes, I'm like, yes, baby.
Yes.
I'll watch that.
Yum,
but
yum.
I saw
Too long.
War for the Planet of the Apes the other day there, and I thought it was magnificent. I thought it was fabulous. I teared up a few times
He did.
at
It's cute.
CG Apes. But
It's because they were wee babies.
that also is 2 hours 20. And a few times I was like, oh, I'm needing the pish.
And he didn't get one.
Can't go.
Stephen
Won't-
doesn't
can't go.
go-
Won't go.
And Stephen doesn't go during a film. I will
I
just
don't.
tell
No, I
you don't.
I don't go to the toilet during the cinema.
Yep.
Well, if I missed something crucial. Don't want to be like a
He
fucking...
never
Just
does.
get Run P, the app. No. I just know when it's the right time. I just always know.
I usually don't.
I just need to
miss
pee,
something.
and if I need to pee, it's the right time to go.
Laura, any more closing thoughts? Or is that you?
No, that's me. I didn't really enjoy it, but I mean, I'm happy to
I'm
discuss
glad we
it.
all watched it.
I don't
and
think
had
it's.
such fun.
I don't think
As am
it's
I.
the most controversial thing in the world. I think it's there. I think it's. I wouldn't even say it's okay.
Yeah, I don't think
just,
it's a
I just
controversial,
genuinely
awful
do
film.
not like this film. I find it too boring.
My closing remarks are that, like I said earlier,
Don't get too spaced.
I won't get too spiced. I got the spice in. I flushed my spice. I'm
Don't
not.
say it like that.
I'm never going to make the case that this is a good movie. Ultimately, do I believe that any movie is as bad as a reputation like this one's would have you believe? With a few exceptions, no. Of course I fucking don't. No movie is as bad as its core quote-unquote fandom will have you believe it is. And that applies to this movie. I would never say it's a good movie. I can enjoy it, however...
To whatever element you can.
However,
To a certain extent.
however subversively I may enjoy it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we're all sitting here ironically saying it's good.
Yeah. But ultimately, this film is, and will continue to be harmless.
to the Godzilla series. The Godzilla series right now is in as good a place as it's ever been. Godzilla 2014, big critical and commercial success. There seems to be this false narrative being perpetuated that Godzilla 2014 was a flop and was hated by critics.
Neither were true.
False on both fronts. Shin Godzilla, massive runaway success story.
If you haven't seen Shin Godzilla yet, go do that.
Or don't.
Shin Godzilla,
Don't.
still, I think, over a year after its initial Japanese domestic release, still rolling out in cinemas in different parts of the world.
In the UK, it just had a big sweep.
Yeah, just finished an extended UK cinema run this week. And Shin Godzilla UK DVD and Blu-ray, December 4th.
Oh, lovely. Very good.
From Manga. Abby says, I flushed my spice is the name of my tell-all documentary.
When you bitch about how awful it was working with
So, Shin Godzilla, this winter, coming to cinemas in Japan and Netflix across the world, Godzilla Planet of the Monsters.
That's right. More on Netflix.
The first of a trilogy of anime Godzilla features, Planet of the Monsters. And we've got 2 more Godzilla features planned in Legendary Pictures' Monsterverse. Godzilla King of the Monsters, as it's tentatively titled at the moment, under the direction of Mike Dougherty. And Godzilla vs. Kong, a sequel to both the Godzilla movies and Kong Skull Island.
Yeah.
So Godzilla's future is as bright as it ever has been, as it has been.
In this millennium.
Exactly.
Or any other millennium.
And the point I'm making here is that this film is harmless. Yeah. It's a Godzilla movie. It's like The War Doctor. It's the day it forgot to be Godzilla, but it's still Godzilla.
That's beautiful.
There we go. And I'm happy to have it on my shelf.
Yeah. I'm not. Because I don't want DVDs anymore, Steven.
It's a fucking Blu-ray, Ross.
It was a beautiful Blu-ray. Buy it on Blu-ray. Everyone go out and buy this on Blu-ray. Give Roland some money.
No.
Nah, what's Roland Emmerich's new film?
I don't know.
What's he doing these days?
He just made Independence Day 2.
Oh, yeah.
And he totally fucked up.
I've never seen Independence Day either.
Really?
Yeah.
He totally fucked up
That's the next
the
podcast.
Stonewall.
Yeah, that's right.
Story.
I heard that, yeah.
But
why was he doing that?
Last said about that bit. Well,
Yeah.
he is gay.
Oh, is he?
Cool. But not that automatically makes him,
Yeah.
worthy of telling that
Yeah,
story.
I get what you mean.
Anyway, that's not our discussion to have, is it? But what's Roland Emmerich up to now? I don't know. Apparently there's further Independence Day movies planned because Fox want to have their own rival franchise to Star Wars. It's like, get real.
Get real.
It's like
Not even got Jeff. Oh, they did have Jeff, didn't they?
Oh, in the new
was
one.
Jeff in
yeah.
Independence Day 2?
Yeah.
Because I appreciate it. I haven't seen
Ironically called Independence Day Resurgence, and I'm absolutely positive that's why Toho dropped the international title Godzilla Resurgence.
Yeah.
And switched to Shin Godzilla.
Shin. And that was Shin Godzilla across the board is great. Anyway, we should probably just wrap up there.
Ross is bursting
Thank
for that
you for
shite,
joining
man.
us on this podcast. You know, this was all new for us. We've actually gone a little longer than we needed to. I mean, nearly about an hour and a half. Of pure sort of discussion here. It's been great chatting with you guys. It's been great having you all here just firing comments at us. I mean, you've been so engaged. We would have loved to kind of shout out every single comment, but that's probably not that likely because there's so many of you chatting away. So we really appreciate everyone that's commented. All your conversations and all your jokes have been great. We've been reading them all and sort of silently pointing out really funny ones to each other as well.
Yeah.
So you know, we're nothing without you guys. So this is going to go up as a regular episode. So you'll find us in all the usual places. You'll find us on our Twitters at Steven Scrivello and at Roz Menzies and at Crimson Sloth
Is
for
that
Laura.
what my Twitter name is?
That's your Twitter.
I do not use Twitter
There will be
very
links
often.
in the show notes as always.
You'd be better finding me on Instagram. I think I'm Crimson Sloth 92. Let's just double check that. No, I'm just Crimson Sloth.
And
All one word.
as we're wrapping up now, everyone's saying love the show, do this more often. It's been fun hearing us.
Yeah, we'd love to.
Having fun hearing us live. I think maybe not our next live show, but when we eventually get to doing just a standard episode discussion of it, Shin Godzilla Live.
Yeah.
Because that's a film we've already discussed quite a lot on the podcast.
Yeah,
and
we
maybe
did a mini one of it.
Maybe live would be best just to offer something a bit different for
to get
a
something new
further
up for
discussion
us.
of that movie.
I
You
think
don't
that's a
need
good
to be
idea.
in that one, Laura, if you don't
That's
want to.
okay. I'll come back when it's Final Wars.
Come back when you're good and ready.
Yep.
So
That's disgusting.
Again,
Get out.
thank you so much, guys.
Steven
Thank
Final
you.
Words.
We have our email as well if you ever want to send us something direct.
Kaijusaurus at hotmail.co.uk. Kaijusaurus.tumblr.com is the blog from which
That's
this
it.
podcast is spun off.
Let's give a shout out
We
to
always want
Hamish.
to we always want to hear your comments, and even if we don't necessarily read them out in the show, we always love hearing what you got to say, and we definitely read everything.
Even if we don't even respond to them on Facebook, guaranteed we do read them, honestly, and every single
Because
comment
we're
means...
self-obsessed.
Although we did...
I'm just about to go back and read them and like most of them.
We recently got a review on American iTunes, 1 star, and it read like a Donald Trump tweet. It said, "These guys don't know what they're talking about at all. Third-rate podcast at best." I know the best Godzilla podcasts. So I thought, well, that's not true.
Yes. We're at least second rate.
He cried in the shower for a while, but
I
we
cried in
got
the shower
over
for
it.
days, but I got over it.
So, it has been a pleasure.
Yep.
It's been
Live
fun.
from the Mingus family household in Pullman.
Yes, my son.
Near midnight on a Friday night in Falkirk, Scotland.
And I'm at work tomorrow.
I'm Roz Menzies.
I'm Steven Sloss.
And I'm Laura P.
We'll see you next time for our discussion of Toho's Japanese reboot, Godzilla 2000 Millennium.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Play him out, Puff.
Oh god.
Why your
Oh god, it's a full video.
why your phone lost?
Here we go. Yeah. I think you got the wrong song.
This isn't San Andreas.
The song's
though.
called Come With Me.
Yeah, this has come with me, but it's the extended version.
Okay, everyone. I'll dub this. I'll edit the song in later.
Bye, everyone.
Good night and
night.
good luck.